Hello YouTube, welcome to Unit 14 Garage. Finally got some sunshine, first time in about a week. I'm out here today working on the old C10. I got my brackets back for my bracket back for my dry sump oil tank. Fixing to get it mocked up, get a few holes drilled in it and get it mounted. And if I get around to it, do a couple other little small things. Anyway, let me show you what I got going on. So I got this piece back a couple days ago from a welder. First clear day I've had in quite a while. I'm going to get it mocked up, get some holes drilled in it. That way I could drill the frame for rib nuts. I've got some, what are they? 3/8-16 thread pitch bolts I'm going to put in it. I also got this thing jacked up and put on ramps. I would have used jack stands, however, they would have been all in my way. So, get to it. I'll give you a little update once I get everything in place. Alright, so the first thing I notice is from that Sharpie mark to the tip of that piece, it needs to be cut off. I don't know if y'all can see it. Give me a second, we can get a better camera angle on that. So you can see the daylight there and the frame curves down. So the the CV axle can pass through that. And also this frame rail was made in two pieces, or multiple pieces. I say two, but it's made in sections. And there is this two pieces of c10 are put together, and it's top and bottom right here. So I'm gonna have to grind down some of this, make it a little bit more thin, so it sits flush right here, because I'm dealing with a fairly decent sized gap through here. Anyway, I'm fixing to pull this piece back off. I am gonna cut that one first and see how much closer it is. I may even weld in a piece as a spacer right here. I'm not sure just yet. All right, so I got that piece cut off. Nice little chunk there, probably about 2.5 inches, somewhere in between. And that should be enough to where this end right here sits flush with the frame rail on the bottom, instead of putting a big gap in it. Anyway, I'm gonna get it put back in place and see how she lays. So I had it backed up there for just a second, and I noticed something else that was keeping it from sitting flush on that back side. And I noticed this big gob of weld just hanging down right here. You can imagine that's some factory Ford stuff. Either way, I'm gonna get that flattened out, then I'm gonna try again. Alright, so I got that little weld booger cut off, and it looks like I'm gonna have to cut just a little bit more off of that tail end on that piece that butts up to this one. And I'm still getting a pretty good bit of daylight between here and there. So I'm about to knock that off here in just a minute or two and test fit it again. A little bit of a slow process, but it is what it is. I am trying to keep it above the sway bar a fairly good bit, and I don't really have anything that I could tie it in above it. And once I get the tank in, I'm going to do a second bracket off the top of here out to the side of the tank, and that'll help keep it a little more rigid. Anyway, I'm going to cut that piece off and I'll be back in a second. Alright, I've got my oil tank mounted, or not mounted, but I've got the bracket made, and I've got the first 3 bolts in it. I still got to drill holes and install rib nuts for the backside portion of it, and then I'm going to cut some of that end of it off, and then I'm going to have some pieces welded right along here and on the back, this side of it, and then on the back side just above this to bolt it to the bracket. And I'm going to make another piece that goes along the top side of the frame rail, somewhere in there to the tank itself. That way, actually to that Sharpie mark right there, back to the frame rail over here, to hold it in place up top and give it a little more structural rigidity. And yeah, I am quickly running out of daylight, so I'm fixing to clean up this nice little mess of camera focus. Come on now. Anyway, it doesn't look like it's going to cooperate with me, so I'm going to start another clip. Anyway, now that my camera's focused and doing the right thing, I'm going to clean up this little mess I've got going on here, and then I'm going to get out of here for the day. It's been a long one. They did cut me out of work early, so spend a few hours here, get some work done, my own stuff. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening or good morning wherever you're at and whenever you're watching this. Bye.